Welcome back to Distant Nights, Episode 3. Where we last left off, our crew of intrepid misfits, let's go with that, have joined the Distant Nights expedition and set out for an uncharted star system with a group of other exploratory starships, centered around the flagship the Distant Nights, all in search of answers as to quite what the Distant Sun, another starship that went missing in the area nearly 6 months ago, had reported a finding before promptly vanishing and never returning. The crew have found themselves separated from the rest of the fleet, as only themselves and the Distant Night made it to the rendezvous point. The rest of the fleet was nowhere to be found. They've set out to a signal source that they detected in a star system effectively adjacent to the one where the rendezvous point was. Made their way there, set up a little beacon declaring that they had gone to the planet, and then descended down to a planet from which they were receiving an SOS beacon. After promptly landing and traversing across the surface towards their destination, I suppose, they found the downed ship, the ACSS-3 Victorion, which is a level 3 cartographic ship, one of the ones from their fleet that appears to have nosedived straight into the planet. Suffering some significant damage. Upon further investigation, they found locked rooms, the blood of a Terran and a Dulark on the inside. Being a level 3, she only has 2 crew members, so it appears to be everyone, although they do appear to have both left the ship. They found a road of some sorts made of ancient octagonal stones that appears to have been embedded into the alien landscape around them, leaving their scientists with their own ship to take samples and investigate the flora and fauna. They pressed ahead in search of tracks that they managed to find, following them to and then along this road, looking for survivors of any kind. They were ambushed by a set of somewhat alien predators by the look of it, and whilst eventually fending them off, Charlissandra was badly injured. Well, not badly injured, but was injured. Lexie has taken a bit of a beating but is still standing, and Johnny, unfortunately, is lying unconscious on the floor and nearly bleeding, which is where we pick up.
Joy!
Out,
I think Charlissandra had quite a beating and Lexie was mostly uninjured.
Yeah. Lexie's still taking a beating, but yeah, not quite as bad as Charlissandra managed to. And as you find yourselves...
I'm on 0 stun, but 7 hits.
Yep.
Still.
But Johnny's on 0-0.
Yeah.
6-7.
Hallelujah!
I realised that there is an intro video that I probably should have played, so I'm going to go ahead and just switch over to that, and we'll be back with you in a moment, because I'm smart, and these are professionally done intros. Shush yourself. 164 hours, 32 minutes, and 53 seconds after the ACS Level 4 cartographic vessel Distant Suns failed to return to Ignis Prime Deep Space Starport, the following message was received.
This is the captain of the ACS Distant Suns. We found something out there. It's a ship of some kind, but it's bigger than anything I've ever seen. Looks organic, but I think it's a starship. Getting closer to investigate. Wish us luck.
Critical engine failure detected. Shields offline. Critical power plant failure detected. Critical life support failure detected. Mayday, Mayday, this is the automated distress beacon of the ACS-4 Distant Suns. Mayday, Mayday, this is the automated distress beacon of the ACS-4 Distant Suns. Mayday, Mayday, this is the automated distress beacon.
Nearly 6 months later, the Distant Nights, a Level 5 ACS vessel, launches from Ignis Prime as the flagship of a small fleet in search of answers. The ACSS Adventure, a Level 4 cartographic ship, finds herself one such vessel among the gathering fleet as they await the signal to depart. Welcome back. So, that's where we pick up. What do you do?
Right.
Please.
There was a camp.
I'm going to try and heal you on the data slate.
I realise you're not looking at the map, but I am, so here's the map.
Yeah, that might fucking help. Like, I was wondering what you're talking. Right, where the fuck am I?
You're
God.
here.
I'll get down from the tree I was in.
Okay.
Where was I? Right.
Did I manage to yeah, I did manage to stabilize
Where is
Johnny, right?
everyone? I can only see myself.
Hi.
Oh, there. Right, I'll come over to the group again.
Okay.
And...
Wait, I'm actually on 6 hit points.
Yeah, you're low.
Does Leo respond once I heal him on my data slate, or?
It's a bit crackly. The reception appears to be pretty bad, but you do manage to get a basic feed through to him. He effectively picks up.
Leo, get on the ship. You need to fly it to us now.
What? What are you talking about?
Well, you see, Johnny was a fucking idiot and has killed himself pretty much, but he's still sort of alive, but not quite. So, can you get on the ship, fly it here? I'll talk you through how to do that if you want, and we'll try and save him. Maybe.
Right, very well. One moment. And he sort of closes off the communications. And
While he does that, can I go and sort of sit down in a somewhat comfortable sort of place out of sight to a certain degree, like
you
up a
can...
tree sort of thing, like. So
Sure.
it just looks like yeah.
So
Just
you
to sort of try and hide what I'm about to do a bit better.
you find a small tree, you climb up into it, find a good branch to sit on, like lean against the main trunk, and
I
sit down, get your data slate out.
Can I see what it's doing? I find it very suspicious.
You can. You
I've
can
not
see...
set up my programs yet. I'm just like, if you ask, I'll tell you what I'm doing to a point.
Yeah, you see Lexie climb up into a tree, and get out her data slate and start fiddling around with something.
What are you doing?
In case there's any more monsters and I'm trying to tell them how to fly the ship, I don't particularly want to get attacked while doing that. So I'm getting up high where I hopefully won't get attacked while I do that in case more come back. Because one ran off, as you know, and I don't particularly want to get mauled to death while needing to help fly a ship here.
True.
Right, give me a sec.
And there's a sort of awkward pause as you just wait.
Yeah, just sort of start humming just the just sort of in the tree while I wait for him.
And then, after another sort of brief moment or two, you hear the sort of of an incoming transmission. You click on it, and
Is it the Samsung ringtone?
no, because it's the Space Samson ringtone. Shush yourself. As
no, it's Tom. I've got a bit of class. It's the Nokia ringtone for me.
Oh God!
As you see Theodina Kerioth, you see his face from a sort of strange angle as he's sat in Johnny's chair, in the captain's chair, sort of hands awkwardly on the controls. It appears he's probably never flown a spaceship before.
Right, I'll access a couple of the other cameras in the sort of cockpit so I can see what he's doing a bit better, and then disable the commands on the sort of control panel, but still make it look like they're there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And then
disable inputs.
yeah, and then
It's basically
start
like
talking.
unplugging the controller.
Pretty much. I'm just then going to start talking through how he would do it while doing it myself.
All right. So you start narrating what you're doing, but effectively in the third person of the second person.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you need to start like the ignitions, make sure that this is doing this, that's doing that, and after a little bit, you all manage to hear the sort of the gentle hum of Starship engines, which does travel a significant distance. It's probably as you see him.
By the way,
begin to lift off. Yes.
yeah, I won't make the flight like steady. I'll make sure it's a bit juddery, like it's your sort of first flight and all that. Like,
yeah,
I'm not making him fly good.
All right. So, go ahead and
God.
Let's see, what skill would this be?
I don't want to know. This is going to be bad.
I mean, I'd hope it's piloting.
It's starships.
Not for
I'm
that.
guessing.
You probably, yeah, I'd say you get your starship bonus for this. This is going to be one of the charisma, one of the talk skills.
Can it be charisma?
Um,
Please, not communication.
I'd
Please.
say this is more communication though, isn't it? Because you're
Fuck.
attempting to...
Fuck! I've got a -3 in communication.
Oof.
This is more communication as you attempt to talk him through it and at the same time
Do I get a
pretend.
bonus by the
I
time?
mean that would just be him
Can I do
pretending not to
two-
fly the ship, right? Not flying the ship.
Can I try and do a persuasion one to convince him that I'm doing it? And do a dexterity one for me flying it itself? Like, do 2 different rolls?
Oh yeah, there's going to be a flight check in there as well. But
Oh.
right, I'll give you persuasion. Go ahead and roll a convince roll.
So, starships plus persuasion, okay.
Yes.
19? Like, fuck.
Okay.
That was going to be a... But, jeez. I was going to be, what, instead, a 14, maybe? Yeah, 14 instead. Jeez. I needed that.
Can I insight that or something? I'm curious. Is there, no, there's not insight.
I mean, not really. There's you don't have reason to suspect. I'd say. I would say it wouldn't really make sense for you to, because you don't really have reason to suspect him of anything.
Yeah, true. What actually would that be? What's that?
Insight is communication.
Oh god, I got a -4 in that.
Yes!
Am I
Something
the-
was worse than me in that!
I am the only one in communication. Are you kidding me?
Yes!
Yeah?
Yes!
Probably not this lot. Yeah.
Lexie and I can't communicate to each other for shit.
Communication
Why
for
do you
dodgy
think there
intentions.
was that awkward pause? It was us playing our characters. Just the, yeah, I've
Yep.
said what I'm going to say, just,
Yeah.
So,
okay.
alright. You know what? Let me just get out my dice. And I will roll, but I'm going to roll this in secret. For Leo.
Uh-oh.
Where's my d10s? That's a d10.
We don't trust you
percentile.
to it in full 20.
Well, I don't want other people to see. So, okay. That's a suitable roll. I need to get that character sheet, actually. But,
Like, I'm
Average
not
bonus, fine.
not letting him fly, I'm just not letting him sort of
Why?
fly.
yeah.
Like,
No, I
I'm
know what you
teaching
mean.
him how to do it, but you don't teach someone immediately for something like flying or
Well,
by
Yeah.
just shoving them into the ship on a planet.
I
course
believe the
you do.
phrase is, desperate times.
Yeah,
Go
but-
for the desperate measures.
yeah. Or I can just do it by my data slate. Like,
Which is true. So,
like,
Leo does not mention anything.
okay. That doesn't mean either way with him.
It
He
doesn't.
doesn't really mention anything.
But he doesn't say anything about suspecting that he's not actually flying the ship. So,
Fair
now,
enough.
go ahead and roll me a... Actually, I should probably use this as a limiter, shouldn't I? Go ahead and roll, it'd be Dexterity plus Starships for a pilot roll. Simply
I can
because
do
you're
that.
attempting to effectively act
Oh,
with the
fuck's
starship.
sake. Now I roll badly.
So that is
A
a
14.
14, but
Just
it's a
1-1.
critical fail, so it's a...
There's no rule for that.
You removed that rule.
I did
Yeah,
remove
you
the...
removed that.
But yeah, it's only supercriticals. So, yeah, okay.
Like, it's a bad enough pilot check to be good as well. Hopefully.
I guess, yeah. Or you're
It's more
just bad at
believable if it's
making...
bad.
Or you're just bad at pretending not to fly good for him, so you're actually flying good.
Yeah. All of that. Either way, it works.
Shit.
So, through the cameras, you do manage to see this exceedingly shaky flight as you attempt to pilot the craft through a means
Yeah.
that you've used on occasion, very rarely, not having much of an opportunity to use it, and it being one that you really are attempting to keep a secret. This is somewhat not something you're practiced in, but you do manage to bring the ship over And after a few minutes, you guys each see the ship slowly hover into view as it careens around, and you manage to sort of bring it over. There's nowhere to land the ship among the tree cover here.
I put it into hover, or tell him how to put it into hover mode and put it into hover mode myself.
Okay.
And there's a bit of wire or rope or something on the, sort of on the ship. So get him to grab that and chuck it out the cargo bay and get him to open that.
All right. Yeah, your cargo bay would have a very basic winch
Or-
of some kind, kind of to
or
lift
a
things
winch,
in and
yeah.
move things around.
And
That'll be standard.
also get a winch and also chuck down a table, like winch down a table with connected on.
Okay.
Yeah, not chuck it down, that'll break it.
You watch through the sort of the camera of effectively the call as a somewhat confused Leo gets a table. You sort of instruct him as he clips it into the winch, which is not really a thing he's done before, but eventually sort of tosses it out through. Well, on the bottom of the ship, there's this sort of this large toothed door that sort of clunks apart. He drops it down, and the table sort of lowers down nearish you, and it swings a bit until it hits the floor and then drags along the floor for a little bit. As the ship's not perfectly stable, but it does do a pretty good job.
Yeah. I'll then jump down from a tree and with call Charlissandra over, or whatever it is, I can't quite remember.
Charlissandra.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Charlissandra.
and I would say that we need to very carefully move Johnny onto the table.
Sure thing.
Like, just get
What
him
did I
on the
roll
ship.
for this? Strength?
Not really. It's not
Please
difficult
don't roll
to pick up.
strength for that, you nut job.
It's not difficult to pick up an unconscious person and put them on a table, especially
Okay.
if there's two of you. The table moves around and wobbles a bit, but there's two of you, and
Yeah.
Um,
And then
So-
I'll strap him onto it as tight as I like, not too tight, but tight enough that he's not going to fall off.
There. Strength anyway.
I
Oh
just
my
had
God.
that thought of like, what happens if we put him up without doing that?
so you
He
put
falls.
Johnny's body onto it. You sort of lay him out on kind of a stretcher, and you strap him on.
We just lay him down in a sexy pose on the table.
And after a brief
No.
moment, the table begins to lift up as Leo sort of activates the winch, brings him up, and brings him back in, closing the cargo bay.
Yeah.
Imagine an unconscious person coming up on a table in a sexy pose.
Stop yourself. Leo
Um,
basically calls back and says, "What do I do with him?" Do you-
How much do you know about medicine?
Quite a bit. I'm a doctor after all.
Good. Fix him up and make sure he doesn't die.
I'll do what I can. What do I do about the ship?
The ship will be coming up soon anyway, so there's just one thing I need to do, or we need to do before we head off, I think. So just have it hovering overboard. We're looking for 2 people anyway, so having a ship here, big noise, at least they might be able to find us.
Try not to click any buttons. And then the call goes dead.
Yeah. I disable all the buttons that could go badly. I disable the thing that would make it land. I disable everything. Just
So basically you do nothing because you already disabled them.
no, Tom. I disable the ways that I would use to get into that if someone locked me out.
Oh,
So
okay.
that I disable everything in case he works it out.
So
Even
secondary
the
and
data
tertiary
slave.
measures will go offline. Okay.
Yes. I will then jump down to the tree, out the tree, and ask Charlissandra if we want to go quickly check out the camp.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, right, let's go. I'll go first, sort of leading the charge, because I've still somewhat of a stack of hit points.
Sure.
Sort of get to roughly there, and have a wee look to see what I can see before approaching.
So as you approach, you notice what appears to be a very basic sort of campsite. It looks like it's been here a short while, not particularly too long. It's actually it's a lot less organised than the one in the picture, but it's just the one that I have.
Alright.
you see a Terran woman who appears to have this large bandage across her midriff and smaller other like bandages and little medical instruments that you'd get in a first aid kit all across her body.
Yep.
She's holding this metallic spear in one hand, heavily leaning on it as she watches you approach. Stands up from it, and this tiny little indicator that you can see on the main bandage, which is stained slightly red, goes from an orange light to a red light as she stands up and strides towards you with this sort of confident stride. Behind her,
Is
you
it
can
a
see
hostile or just it's a happy to see us?
it is a roll communication.
Communication. Okay, she's about to come and kill us.
So judge intentions, effectively. 3.
Oh
Oh!
shit!
Oh,
3 and
So
3,
that's a
a good roll.
16.
3
Just
and 16. 16?
like it was the good roll. That's the only reason. That's good. So 16.
Adds 2, yeah. Okay. Charlissandra, this is not really your specialty, kind of hard to read. This person is walking up to you quickly. Lexie,
That's the only thing I can tell. Yeah.
16, she appears to be sort of on guard from what you can tell with her stance, but at the same time, sort of cautiously optimistic. Just from her
Alright.
facial expression as she walks towards you. This spear held, and you can see that what she has is quite a pretty serious looking injury, and you can see it beginning to stain with red as she walks towards you more and more.
I'll call out to her. Just stay there. You're too hard to move. Just stay there. We'll come to you.
The
and
spear,
I'll-
the spear is pretty rudimentary, but has what appears to be a mixing of blue and green blood on the tip. Behind her, there's a Delark woman, and sort of orange-skinned Delark woman, lying covered in far more bandages. She has sort of splints on both legs and one arm, who appears to sort of very briefly attempt to right herself at the sound, looks over towards you and just collapses back again. There are 3 other bodies around the campsite, 2 Freyans and a Delark, all of them in the exact same pose, laid out in this kind of, if you know the Egyptian pyramids, how they would lie down with the arms crossed above their chest, and you see horrific wounds across them, not attempted to be bandaged. These are large sort of stab wounds that are covered in their own blood, and they're just lying there. Their gear
does
has
it
been
look-
stripped from them, and they're sort of in a corner, laid out next to each other, separated
Does
from
it-
the one who is still alive.
Is the Terran woman that's walking towards us? Does it look like is the weapon she's got the spear that's done the damage, or is it
Quite possibly. That's
quite
a
possibly?
reasonable conclusion. She strides
I'll
towards
call-
you.
I'll ensure to make sure she stays there and just say, "Can you please stay there?" Just while we work out why the fuck there's 3 dead people behind you.
Who are you people?
We're the people that's got a ship to get you out of here if we choose to do so. So please stay there.
So did the last fuckers. Who the hell are you?
We are from the search party for the distant nights, isn't it? Like we're looking
Yes.
for that.
Distant Nights
yeah,
Expedition.
that's the one.
Yeah.
What do you want?
To work out what the fuck happened here. We're following a distress beacon. What was the ship code again?
The ACSS-3 Victorian.
Yeah, I'll say that it's that one that we're following.
You see a glint of recognition in her eyes at the name, and you can see that her pose is going from this sort of confident pose to a sort of more laboured, struggling to stand, and you can see that the little red light on the main bandage is beginning to blink, and it is
I'll
beginning to
walk-
more and more red spread through it, and her breathing's
I'll walk
becoming
over to
laboured.
her and support her.
She steps back in a relatively heroic effort, effectively, of attempting to stand up, and sort of holds the spear out towards you in what you would have seen before and recognised as someone who is very wary, on their last legs, and will do anything, basically, at this point.
I'll
That sort of
mention
look of
to
a
her
corner
to-
animal.
mention to her
Got a doctor on ship.
Be care-
On our ship. Calm down.
can't words right now. Please stand by. Oh yeah, calm down, calm down. We're just here to help you.
That took you
really
too
could've
long.
lost there.
That took you too long there. Rick.
Yes, I know. Shut up.
Don't judge him. She sort of looks at you. I don't trust you people.
Well, you've got no choice now, do you?
Yes. And then she just faints. Just hits the ground with a sort of thud. Just unconscious.
Okay.
I
I'll
think we
go-
better let down the table again.
Yeah, I'll radio up to Leo and say, can you let down another 2 tables? We've got another 2 people that seem to be in lovely conditions.
I'll see what I can do. And you hear the sort of the clattering of medical instruments and the
I'll
diagnostic
re-enable
noises.
the winch, etc. as well, just because I probably disabled that.
Probably.
my
So
God.
after a brief moment,
I
another,
locked it down.
another pair of
She has a
tables
full lockdown mode.
are deployed effectively. Or another table, because you've only got one winch, so it can only do one at a
Yeah.
time. But another sort of makeshift table is deployed with a pair of
Yeah.
a bunch of rope as well on top of it for strapping people down.
I would have asked for some handcuffs or something, just because.
You've
although
got a sort of a bunch of rope that you can use.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have rope. Get creative.
Zip
Yeah,
ties.
I'll use the rope to sort of tie her arms, etc.
All right.
Because she seemed somewhat hostile, like not massively, just a little bit like cornered animal, as you said, sort of
Yeah.
thing. And I just want to make sure she doesn't do anything stupid,
All right.
and put her on, and then go have a wee look at the Dulac, was it?
Also
see how
female.
she's doing.
She's lying unconscious on the ground.
I'll again put wrist bindings on her again, just to make sure.
All right. Yeah.
And
You notice that basically both of her legs appear to be broken, and one arm is shattered.
never mind then.
By the look of it, it's shattered in multiple places, as you can see by like a number of things down her arm. And sort of the diagnostics on the medical equipment that comes in the first aid kit these days.
Just she's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she's that badly bruised up, there's no point. I'll just make it worse.
Mhm.
So, very carefully, I'll put her on the table when it comes down and make sure she gets up.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
ensure
I'll
Leo
let her-
takes care
When
of
that's done, I'll have a brief look to the camp.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I'm looting that fucking camp with you.
Okay.
We want that goodies.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll. I guess just perception to investigate this sort of the camp. Have a look around.
17.
I think bad luck rolling dice today.
Oh,
17 and 8. Good. Wow, that is
10.
10. Sorry, yeah, that was removed. The
Um,
joys of alpha builds, guys.
Another thing, Tom, is I would have also said to Leo to search her for weapons to make sure none of them have weapons.
Sure, yeah. He reports back that there's a spear.
Take that off her, like, no weapons.
I think that we left it behind down here.
No, I want that spear. I want to see what it is. Looks fun.
It's a
It's
piece
a
of wood with a piece of metal to it.
It's a very basic.
Is
looking
it
spear.
like? Oh, is it a how made sort of spear? Never mind then. Don't fucking.
No. It does appear to be a proper spear, metal, but in fact, it appears to have some technological bits along the side of it. You're not quite sure what they're about, but there are bits. It appears to be one that you would buy, but it is.
There's
Nothing about
fucking
that.
motherboard
Yeah.
strapped to the side of it.
Yeah.
Hey, you can hack into that motherboard and you can do fun things, like add neon, RGB neon lights, like my side.
Oh my god.
It mines bitcoins while you kill people.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, nice.
yes. How many bitcoins have I got, by the way? Just so I know.
None.
0.0001.
0.000000. 0. So,
More zeros.
0.
with a 17, Lexie, well, let's start with Charlissandra with a 10. Both of you, you find pretty evident the rest of the first aid kit. This appears to be a heavy-duty first aid kit. You find basically a full first aid kit. It's got like the little 3D printers for bones and that kind of stuff. And all of the
Nice.
tools. Yeah, a first aid kit comes with a very basic 3D printer that you can 3D print splints and bones and that kind of stuff. And
Alright,
yeah, occasionally
let's
in the
take that
field you
with
need to
us.
print out a new bone and replace it. But that's
Do
a
we
field
have a-
medic thing.
I'll
Is it
take
a
that thing
fuel-
with us.
Is it a
it's-
full one, or is it like
well,
just?
it's got a bunch of stuff
basic?
taken out of it. It is a full first aid kit. It does have a bunch of stuff taken out of it, but you do now have one.
Right,
You also find a couple of rations and some sort of stuff that's real basic, like a few changes of clothes and that kind of stuff. It appears as if someone has grabbed a bag or two and ran.
Yeah, Gav, do you have the ship inventory there?
The ship inventory, yes, I do.
Shove all of that on it, because we're not going to have it on us long enough to count.
Shit. So, heavy duty.
The ship
Medic.
detonates and explodes, and you now have it on you and for much longer.
Do you
Alright.
want me
No.
to write down the spear?
Spear I'll keep.
Alright.
Spear,
So I'll
because
just put the medkit on there, yeah?
Shush,
Yeah.
you're unconscious.
Splendid.
just the med kit and a couple of changes of clothes.
Yeah.
I'll check. Do I see anything extra, or
17. You,
Any keys
ooh,
or anything?
you would note a few weapons from the people that are dead. There appears to be some gear that's piled in the corner.
don't rub it in too much? They're dead. Just the.
I mean-
they're really nice and dead. Just
Yeah.
don't
Well,
rub it
they're
in
not really
too
nice
much.
if they're dead.
How do you know they're nice if they're dead?
Thanks, guys.
I'd say
Sorry.
words.
It just.
Because
sort
they're
of happened.
dead.
Please carry on.
Yeah.
You find two
Dead.
CHS hand blades, a nano knife,
Sorry, a CHS hand blade.
Mark 1. You find 2 of those. You also find a CHS nano knife, which is basically a much sharper, better knife. You find a pair of X1 laser pistols,
A pair, so 2 times.
2 X1 laser pistols, and you would also find an LRB 93 laser rifle.
Okay. Any armor, or
There is no armor to speak of. They appear to be wearing some, like, from what you can tell, it appears to be just sort of dark robes, dark, everything.
Alright.
They've got, I don't know what they're called, but like the things you put over your face, over your mouth and like nose and that kind of stuff.
balaclavas.
Kind of, but not quite.
Alright.
Like the thing I had at school, you know what I mean? Bath,
Beanie.
if anyone knows
Oh,
what that is.
those things.
Yeah,
The,
it's
yeah.
like a band, just a band of like stretchy material, and you like can put it over your nose and mouth, or like wear it around your wrist.
Like
or and you've got a couple of
Oh, I
like
know
dark
what they're
hoodies and that kind of stuff. They. Oh, and you find 3 sets of sunglasses that have little displays on them. Although,
little Sorry.
yeah,
are
they're
they, like,
sunglasses that have
deep
like
stained
inbuilt
glass?
displays into the right thing. Mirror shades, effectively. They have 2 of them are built for Freyans though, so they're kind of much more like real long, wide sunglasses that kind of obviously go around a very different shaped face, and then one that would fit a more humanoid face. It's built for Dulark.
Okay, so I've got one normal mirror shade and 2 Freyan mirror shades.
Yes,
Alright.
with displays.
with displays? Are they like data slates or?
No, they're kind of like a monitor. They're effectively just a screen. You would link
Alright.
them up to a thing, and then you can effectively... you'd link them up to your data display and then run an app on your data display that would allow you to... thing. And
That would be fun.
you... Ammunition-wise, you don't find any at all. None in the guns, none whatsoever.
Okay. That's fine. I would say we just grab some of the rations, just canny heart.
Okay. You find about 5 rations. Not much.
I'll shove that on my.
Yeah,
in
mark
fact,
down 5 lunch bars, because that's what you'll find. Emergency
okay,
rations, lunch bars.
another 5 lunch. Oh, lunch bars.
Mhm.
Right. Where the fuck are my lunch bars?
Yeah, return
Why the
those. Oh, and sorry, you'd also
Sorry,
find
2 seconds. I haven't put my lunch bars on that one.
and you'd find.
There we go.
Yeah, you'd find 2 pistol holsters,
Okay.
2 black pistol holsters.
Does anyone need a pistol holster?
Don't
That
think I do.
includes you, Gav. Do you want a pistol holster?
Oh no, I have one.
Rick, do you even have a pistol?
No. I only got a
can give you
T6.
I'll take the holsters.
Alright.
And I'll give one to. In fact, I'll give one to Rick, and I'll give you one of the X1 laser pistols as well.
Okay.
Evidently, you find the pair of belts that the holsters are attached to as well, if
Yeah.
you want belts, but I assume you've all got belts. Actually, you might not, because like a belt that you can attach things to is a kind of more specialised thing, so it's understanding it differently.
Sorry, Rick, do you have a belt?
No, I don't think I do.
You can have one as well. So you have an X1 laser pistol, a belt, and a pistol holder now.
But you don't have any ammunition for it whatsoever.
We'll sort that out later.
I just swallowed my chewing gum. Good.
Well done, Tom.
That was unintentional.
At that point, I think we just need to return to the ship.
Alright.
There's nothing else we can do here unless... yeah. Just
I
before
mean,
we
I'm in
burn too
favor
much
of that,
fuel.
but I can't voice my opinion right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard a little birdie talk. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I would say we return
Yeah.
to the ship.
On the table. Or on the winch.
Yeah. But we are standing on the table. We're not tied down.
Yeah.
So you get down.
Halfway up, I joke pushing you off, but I don't do it.
Oh my god.
So you get
Halfway up, I'll just climb up the rope.
So you get Leo to let down the winch, and as you are, again with another table, and he's now got like a couple of tables just in the cargo hold waiting because he's just expected you to ask for more tables at this point. He lets down the winch.
How many tables were we transporting?
Well, there's a few. It appears that he's taken all the ones out of like every room he can find them in. All of the tables in your ship are now in the cargo hold. As you discover, as you get about halfway up, both standing on the table, you sort of jokingly shove Charlissandra, which her response is to immediately grab the rope and just climb up it. And she climbs up the rope as if she's been doing this all her life. Go ahead and roll me a, it would be an agility, I guess.
Right, I'll
let's
get
see.
agility as well ready or something because we'll fuck this up.
17.
Oh wait, never mind.
No, 19. Yeah, no, you definitely just climb up the rope as if you've been doing this your whole life and make it up quite a bit before Lexie gets up.
I just
I'll-
I just have a
Yes.
smug look on my face.
Yeah, I'll get up, close the cargo chute, shut everything down that way, and re-enable all command controls
Sure.
for me.
So you turn back on all of basically the ship, you unlock it down,
Yeah, I unlock it. Just like
disable the lockdown. And,
yeah.
Okay.
I'll then I'll ask Leo quickly. Are the two sort of the Terran and the Freyan, was it, or Dulac?
Dulac.
Sorry. Are they in a room on their own?
Oh, sorry, you asked Leo.
Yeah.
You've only got one med bay, and he's just, well, they're in the med bay.
Okay, can you separate them from Gav just in case? Sorry, from Johnny just in case, and... yeah.
Right, I'll put a
Yeah.
screen up, I guess.
And we're just going to return to orbit, I think, and just stay in orbit until everyone's okay.
Alright,
We're not going anywhere
so,
too far.
you take the... Leo heads back into the back and starts messing around in the medical room as you take the ship and just make your way back up into orbit. There's no roll needed, that's a real basic thing.
I'll put it into a geostationary orbit or something. In fact, no, a low orbit, one that's got a sort of impedance of about a period of about 90 minutes.
Okay. So,
ISS.
yeah, similar to the ISS. So you put yourself
just sort of,
into a low orbit.
just quick enough that we can get to somewhere on the planet if we want to go somewhere.
Into an
But-
LAO, and you just
Yeah.
so you're just coasting around.
Yeah.
Just inside the atmosphere, really. That's kind of how
I
it
just
works.
want to go check up on everyone in the med bay, see how they're doing.
Yeah,
All right,
and
is
then
it-
I'll
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, and I'll just sort of play around in the sort of thing while doing that. He
Sure.
does that, yeah.
So you start going through the equipment that you've got and checking through the ship, making sure
Yeah.
Leo didn't break anything, and readjusting your chair about 4 times, and then again.
4! Tom, we all know what a pilot's chair's like. I'll be doing that for the next half hour.
So as you sit there, continually readjusting
You see,
the chair.
you joke, but that's accurate.
Yeah, I know.
As you're sitting there, just readjusting the chair, and fixing up your equipment, and then readjusting the chair some more, and then fixing some more equipment, and just going through effectively your spoils and just looking through everything.
15 minutes in, I remember there's a button to set it back to defaults for me. Just, I'll
Oh my god.
remember that I can press the button to set it to how I like.
And then you
Yeah.
readjust
And
it
then
again.
that's not quite right, so I'll change it just slightly again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you spend the next sort of half hour messing with the chair. So Charlissandra, as you walk into the med bay, you see Johnny lying on one of the sort of medical tables. There's only 3 of them, which is a sort of handy amount. As you come in, Johnny's lying on one of the medical tables. There's a sort of an old-fashioned looking screen has been produced between the 2 of them, but it's quite evidently holographic, because it's sort of, as you look at it, you can tell it's just designed to block view. And it does look like one of those ones that's just like sort of wheeled out, and it's kind of on rails, and you pull it out. It looks like one of those, but it's holographic in nature.
Just thinking of a bit of plexiglass at the moment, just sort of.
It's kind of more like, you know how those sort of surgical, an operating theatre, they've got that sort of surgical thing that they might put over you.
Like the green curtains that you put around someone when they've died.
Yeah, it's basically one of
Not only
those,
when
but
they
it's
die.
just blocking him off, so that he's just in his own little bit, like they got in hospitals. It's one of those.
Alright.
Sort of this real light blue kind of meh colour that they have in every hospital for some reason. And
Yeah.
I can explain that if you want me to.
don't. And as you you come in, you see that Leo's going through, just applying, basically using the med kit you just got, and also the bits in the medical facility you've got. And he's got some stuff. He's just going through and just slowly tending to everyone. And it appears that everyone's in stable condition.
Hey Leo, if you got some time, can you patch me up a bit as well? There's a bit of beating.
Yeah, what you need? How's it going? He sort of turns towards you, and you see him sort of basically brandishing in your direction a small medical scanner, and it beeps away at it. How many hit points are you down?
1 only.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, I think I can deal with you. Come with me. And he basically gets you to sit down on this chair and he just sort of pulls out some medical equipment and pokes you with a few needles and bandages up some of the more major sort of cuts and bruises and things, and he gets you back on your feet. Mechanically, you've now dealt with a thing, so you'll be able to recover a hit point after a long rest.
Okay. And
same with John.
you recover stun after a long rest too, right?
You can recover stun using stun die on a short rest. You can recover all your stun and half your stun die on a long rest. D&D style, it kind of works like D&D's hit points. And then you don't actually like your Constitution modifier, you just get the die. And then for your hit points, those you get 1 per 3 long rests if you don't have a medkit. And if you do have a medkit that you actively use, then you get 1 per long rest back.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we rest, I think we're just going to need to rest just now as well.
Basically,
Yeah.
So
let's face it, we're gonna try and find the distant knights
We'll try and find
and
something.
interrogate these people along the way.
Yeah, let's rest.
what is the immediate plan of action? The two who are awake.
I guess
Right.
just first rest and see how the rest are doing, and then question them or something.
Alright,
Yeah,
are you going to
just-
take the full sort of, I think it's like 6 hours is minimum for a proper long rest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yes. God, yeah. No.
Charlissandra, you heal that hit point, you will get all your stun back as you will have to sleep.
Yeah, that's fine.
For all 6 hours.
I'll put the ship in autopilot and do the usual routine for
Well, you're in
just
orbit.
if
it's-
something goes wrong, all
yeah.
the buzzers in my room just go to fucking blitz to sort of just.
Yeah. So
Just-
basically, it's
Our room
got
is just filled with lights.
it's got its
Like-
passive scanners on and it's ready to awaken you, but the ship is in orbit, so you can just leave it.
Yeah.
As you take a long rest, you lay down and you sleep. All 3 of
Yeah.
you recover all of your stun. And
Hooray!
you get 1 hit point for the 2 that need it.
Hooray!
Johnny,
Uh,
you awaken.
Bring me fucking crutches because I have 1 hit point.
Just quickly, do I get rid of my stress as well? I've got 1 point of stress.
Yes, you will lose that 1 point of stress.
Yay! I can't remember what stress does, but yay!
I think it's if you go 2 or more, you start taking negatives to random different stuff, depending on how far you go down.
Yep.
But it gives you advantage that you could just choose to have, so it's got its good points and its bad points. So, Johnny, you come to in the medical room, to quote basically every anime, an unfamiliar ceiling, as you stare up at the sort of horrific lights that are like weirdly shielded, so that if you look directly at them, they don't really blind you, and they kind of glow across the top of the room more than anything.
How long does it take me
Mood lighting.
to realize I'm in my own medbay?
Not long. You look around. It's a room you've seen before. There's a screen next to you, and you see the door leading out because you're near the door. You see some of the medical equipment that's been hooked up to you. You see you're in the
Okay.
medbay. You awaken.
Where's my data slate?
It would be on you. Theo hasn't
Just
moved it.
gonna take it. Be like, press the button for Lexie. Yo, Lexie.
Lexie on quick dial.
I'll
see.
just pick up and go, oh right, you're alive then. Right, I wasn't sure if you were going to make it. Good.
What the fuck?
think- You fucked up, that's what happened, just before you asked.
You're in command because the captain's incapacitated, and with that I just shut it down and lay back down.
Alright then.
We already assumed as
He
much,
gets
though.
a text. He gets a text a moment later just saying, "Wait, wasn't I always in command?"
The text comes back, get me crutches or something.
I'll fashion him some crutches or something.
Okay.
Or something.
So you come in to find Leo is sort of
In fact, no. I don't get him crutches. I get him a wheelchair. Just get
Okay.
them the most over-the-top looking wheelchair possible.
So the best you can do is you can get a chair that is effectively got some.
Is it an office
Like
chair?
shopping cart wheels underneath them.
Please tell me it's a office chair type thing.
You can get a kind of uncomfortable chair that has like armrests, and it would have what do you call it? It would float basically using some very small repulsors and the fact it would float on the ship. You can't take it off the ship.
Ah.
It'll float
No
on a
wheels?
ship or a station or
Oh,
something like
yes.
that.
Can't we just have an old-fashioned
I'll
office
take
chair?
that down to him, just leave it next to his bed. Not helping him to get on it, just leave it next to the bed.
I just look at it, and I'm gonna try and stand up, refusing.
What you could do is you could make it so that it has effectively holographic wheels, as if a wheelchair.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's obviously happens. Just
You could use the ship's inbuilt holographic system to give it wheels, so it looks like an
Yep.
old-fashioned wheelchair.
I've
Which I
done that.
assume you wanna
I've
do.
done that. Definitely done that.
Yeah.
At least you
Uh,
didn't make the old chair
I'm gonna
holographic.
try and stand up, because I refuse to get in there.
So, yeah, you shakily manage to get to your feet. Everything hurts, but you're alive, and
Shit.
I thought you needed a wheelchair.
I thought so too, but that thing looks ridiculous.
Exactly. That's why I brought it to you.
Oh, you're such a great first officer.
So are you.
Right, I'm just gonna stretch, hurt, sit down in the wheelchair. Right. Can you
Wheel
give
your
me a
captain
full
around.
recap, please?
Pretty much, you fucked up. They killed you. We got you back on. I got Leo to fly the
All
ship.
right, balls right there.
Yep.
Okay, very much balls right there. They killed me or they took me down. Because if I came back from the dead, that'd be a whole story in and of itself. So let's start with being clear on that one.
Quite dead, but you're pretty much dead. Like
All
you're
right, so I
unconscious
wasn't-
on the way to death. Like
So I wasn't resurrected. That's the
not
start.
quite.
Now, did you just say Leo flew this shit back here?
Yes, with a hell of a lot of guidance. Like he tried to crash it a couple of times. Like you know.
Does he even have a license?
No.
Is
Shush.
he ever... Wait, hold on. You
Yes,
let
it's
a
the other option was
tall is he?
hiking with. Sorry.
You let that big Kraken sit in my chair,
I've readjusted the chair already.
pilot this ship. Yeah, okay, that's not the point. Bumble this ship around to come pick us up.
What was the other option? Hike you back 4 hours. By the time we get there, you're dead.
There's not much of an option, I'll admit that. But damn, I don't appreciate noobs flying my ship.
Like, didn't really have much of a choice there. Like, come
No.
on.
Didn't really have much of a say in it either.
You were dead. Of course you didn't.
Exactly.
But also we've
I
got
would've
two people
Totally
that may or may
blamed
not
it
be awake
attack
now.
on sideways though.
Sorry?
Oh, you
We
found them.
Yeah,
Oh,
we might want to
splendid.
talk today in case they're awake though, because I'm not too sure.
Right.
I'll just quickly peek
what,
my
were
head
they
around
like
to see if they're
on
awake.
the other end of the curtains?
yeah, you just like stick your head straight through the curtains because you can.
Yeah.
You look through. They appear to be both just both asleep, from what you can see.
Let's do this. Come back and go, they're still asleep, but let's go this way anyway. And I'll hold the back of his chair and wheel him through into the sort of...
Does it have any joystick whatsoever?
I've disabled that. I disable that, just to make sure, just wheel him through, just...
I just
Oh,
look up and
Papa.
stare daggers at you.
There wouldn't be
I
any
would
joysticks.
have
but
plugged
you
my
could
head
make
out
them.
of the.
You could just put your data state down, set it to a joystick, and control the chair. It's
As soon as I realize
as
that
much of it
doesn't
like that.
work, I just stare daggers at Lexie.
I wanna
I'm
wake
not
up and plug my head out of the room just to see this happening.
As I walk past and see you, I'll go, we need to quickly have a chat about the people. So come with us, Charlissandra.
Sure.
yeah.
Thank
Leo
you.
is
Give my
just
controls back.
asleep in the medical
Give
room.
my controls back. Give my controls back.
I like, just as we get into the room,
Lexie.
I'll give him the controls back. Just literally as I put him into place.
You put them into place, and then click.
Thank
You
you.
literally put him into place. Figuratively.
So, roughly where are
Enjoy
you going?
this.
Just into like the mass hall or somewhere to just have a
Yeah,
conversation?
just into the mess hall.
Sure.
Or
Just
if
wanted
I-
to be officially known that the captain is back at optimal capacity and will resume command from this point forward.
It
Are you?
looks.
Yes,
You don't look optimal.
my brain works. That's optimal enough.
Does it though?
By the way, yeah, is the mess hall the one that we had set up all the slates, etc., for data analysis? And was that the
Yeah, that's
living
the one.
quarters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Go there.
that's the mess hall.
It's sort of the mess hall common room. It's just one big room. You're a small
Yeah.
ship. You've got one room.
You think we have a separate
Massive
wing
wall.
for living quarters? How big do you think this ship is?
Not that big. I just wasn't sure if we had like a
Capital
tiny
class
mix
ship?
or something.
Yeah. There's like a kitchen in one area, one side. There's a effectively some more comfy seats. There's a table with some chairs around it. There's not. There's just a bunch of chairs that have been pushed to one side, and there's a missing table. There is
There are 5 missing tables.
well, not 5
I'll
missing tables,
text-
but the table is missing.
I'll go get the table.
Silent text Leo for when he wakes up. Just say, can you put all the tables back?
Sure.
Oh
It's
yeah.
his problem,
You don't
not
gotta
ours.
reply.
He's the one that moved it. I said silent text it, so I mean when he wakes up and looks
Oh,
at
right,
his
yeah,
data
sure.
states.
Yeah. He's asleep, so no reply yet.
So, where are we right now?
In a low orbit with a
On your
period of
ship.
90 minutes around the same planet.
Alright, that's all I needed to know, thanks.
For the record, it would be an
Hey, you brought-
LAO, not LEO, low atmospheric orbit.
Alright.
Just yeah.
Wait, we're not in the atmosphere though. I thought we were just
you
outside
actually
it.
are. Like the ISS is in the very upper reaches. of the
Alright,
atmosphere.
so we're I wasn't sure if in 90 minutes because it had a lower G if would be in the orbit atmosphere or
it's
not.
1.005G. It's actually slightly higher.
Oh, was it?
yeah.
Alright, never mind.
Yeah, no, you would be very in it. It's the kind of point where you have to do a correction burn once or twice every year, but you are in
Alright.
the edge of the atmosphere, so it would just be known as an LAO, low atmospheric orbit. And then
That's-
there's HEO, which is at the point where you have to do a correction burn every 100 years, and then past that, you just get orbit.
Yeah, alright, that if it's every year I don't really give a shit. Like,
Yeah,
we're
no,
only here
it's
for
the kind
another.
of point where it's
Yeah.
like it's the kind of level of the ISS IRL, so it's a 90-minute orbit
Yeah.
kind of area. It's just LAO would be the term for it
Yep, that's quite
because
alright.
it's not Earth.
Sorry, I thought we were outside the atmosphere. That's why.
Effectively, yes.
Not
but
quite.
you can't breathe or anything. It's
Well, no.
it is for all intents and purposes outside the atmosphere. It's just
Yeah,
it's a
sorry.
technicality, if
Anyway,
anything.
yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we're currently orbiting. As I said, we've got 2 people that I'm not particularly sure about at the moment.
Oh,
On
God.
board that we've given medical condition because we walked up and they're both heavily injured and one of them had 3 dead bodies that she had killed.
Well, to me
Right,
it looked
that's a
like they were
start.
giving them some trouble and
Right, bodies?
not with the intent of saving them.
You
Either.
found the crew. Yeah?
Yeah, it's either they were giving them bother or they were giving them bother.
Wait,
One
hang
of
on.
them was giving the other bother, like if that
I
makes sense.
think those 3 guys were giving them bother seeing their
Wait,
loadout.
wait.
Possibly.
So, there was 3 more people on that planet.
That are dead. Yeah.
Yep. 2 Freyans and a Delac.
Okay. Interesting.
Always some pretty heavy gear.
Didn't
Sure.
break the bodies up. There was no point. They're
That's
deep.
fair enough. But that does mean someone lives down there. We're used to at least.
Or, you
Or
say-
they came
yeah.
with a ship.
Why would
Um,
the crew go fighting amongst themselves? Oh well.
There was only 2
No,
on that
I
ship,
don't
or
think those 2 were those 3
Yeah.
were part of the crew.
Did we ever recover a crew manifest?
Did we? Good
No.
question.
Hang
I
on,
think
wait.
we
That ship
determined
was
that
on the
it
list,
probably
right?
was crewed by
It
2
was on
people.
the list.
You
Yeah, would
Yeah.
didn't find a crew manifest. What you, I don't believe. What you did find was that the
Terran
ship-
blood and Frame blood, wasn't it? Or something
Terran
like that.
Dulac
Yeah.
blood. You found
Yeah.
living quarters. You managed to get into, I think, one of them, and it appeared female, and Dulac, I think it was. And you also
Yeah.
noted that You also know it's an ACSS 3, which means that it cannot have more than 2 crew total.
Okay.
Oh, it cannot have more than 2 to... Okay.
No, because then it'd be level 4.
Interesting.
Or
Yeah.
it's very
Right.
new to the ACS and it's a crew of like 4 or 5
Yeah,
people, but it's
'cause-
real new. Which
Yeah,
would
I
be
believe we're still
unusual
at level
on
3, aren't
this.
we?
You're level 4,
Oh, sweet.
because
Yeah.
you've got 2 crew.
Oh yeah, I have it at level 4, never mind.
Like Charlissandra is new to the ACS, but you're not, therefore you can be level 4, while the other 2 are level 2.
I'm not new, but I'm not
Yeah.
level 3 because I'm not in charge.
Yeah, you're level 2 because you're a crew member. Charlissandra is level 2 because she's a crew member. And level 3 is
Yeah.
for captains with 1 or less crew. 1
Yeah.
or less subordinate, and level 4 is for 2 or more subordinates that also have done a certain amount of work for the ACS. So it's possible they were from the crew, but they would have to be that the ship is very new to the ACS.
Yeah. So it's unlikely that they are. Possible, but unlikely.
Yes.
I would. Was it what was the search ship again?
The Distant
Distant
Knights
Knights.
is the flagship of the fleet.
Right. I'll try and hail that.
Okay.
Oh,
are
good
you
luck with that.
doing a audio hail or just text only?
Audio hail because we need to actually hear them and make sure they get this or something.
Unfortunately, you don't get a reply.
Ah, that's fine.
You can't get a
Um,
connection.
Yeah.
Look, I think if we found survivors here, I think it's best of all, if we... Well,
Return.
hold on. Did we... There was more signals, yeah?
There was more signals that we found scattered everywhere, but
Yeah, I know, but did we hear those from here, or did we hear those from some other system?
we
They were
heard them from
scattered.
here, didn't we?
They were scattered throughout the Ifrit sector, which is the sector you're in. They weren't from the same place.
No,
yeah,
they weren't from the same place, but where did we discover them? Or where did we get bearings to those signals? Was that in this system or another one?
I believe it was in
I-
this system because you had the sense beacon out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. How about... Was there a sensor beacon we collected?
No, we haven't collected our sensor beacon.
And the transmission beacon?
The transmission.
Their
beacon.
trans-
No, it's your transmission
uh,
beacon. You converted one of the sensor beacons that you were
Yeah.
given into a transmission beacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You detected what? 2 more signals, I think. I think.
Yeah.
There was a couple, yeah.
Like, I
did
don't know
get
which
the black
direction,
box of their ship, by the way?
Hmm?
I would imagine so.
Ooh.
A black
Did
box.
I get- Yeah,
Uh,
effectively their
I
black box.
believe you didn't find a black box.
No.
If you don't
No, I
have it
don't
marked
think so
down,
either.
you didn't find a black box.
I think I remember I searched for it and couldn't find it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did.
I
Don't
could be
remember
wrong,
that.
though.
Well, would it be in the nose of the ship, which is currently pulp?
It would be in the back of the bridge, usually.
Oh, that's actually retrievable then.
It would
Yeah,
have been in a
right.
place where you went past. If you... Yeah. Thinking back to it, there was no black box.
There
As
was no black box.
As you sort of like, hang on, I should have... No, there wasn't one. I went past its
Yeah.
housing, it was open, there was no
Was
black
it-
box.
Yeah, I thought I'd looked for it, but just couldn't find it or something. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think you
Well,
looked for
well,
it, but like, as you think about it, it's like, that wasn't there.
Right.
Huh, plot.
Right. I think the plan here is either of 2 things. We go back down to their crash site and scavenge and see if there's any more things, because I think there was an armory or something there that could be fun to look at. They didn't have any ammo or anything like that. Or we go back to the Distant Knights and
You didn't bring those weapons up?
couldn't get in there. We were sort of... we
Short-
couldn't get in
right.
there in the first place, but we were in a bit of a short time
Well-
trying to find them.
I don't think those weapons are going to be worth nearly as much as the amount of fuel we'd be burning to go back down.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, so I think...
So, I'd suggest pick up the beacons and we head on out again.
by the way, what fuel are we on? How much
Uh,
fuel have we burnt?
Gav, I believe you have the fuel of the ship?
We never specified any of that.
Yeah, you
Didn't
did.
I?
Nope.
Is it in my notes? It might be in my notes.
Yep.
It is in my notes, I think. Somewhere. Oh, no, it's not. It's in the notes that got deleted. You have a
I
nearly
think-
full tank. I think you've used basically like 1 or 2 units, and you can carry like 12 or something like that.
Was
Okay,
that
well,
in the 2 bar stand going down, so we've used 2 out of... Alright. Fuel-wise, we're fine.
Yeah.
Alright, I would say just go back, speak to them, see what we can do.
Yeah. The fuel would be
So-
used mostly in the in getting down to the planet and back up again, because when
Yeah.
you're using your
Fair
sublight
enough.
drives are the ones that really hog fuel.
Yeah.
The FTL
Yeah.
drive's actually relatively efficient.
I'll fly us to the distant nights. You are still too bunged up, I would say.
I mean, my arms move, don't they? Feet move.
Yeah, but
Look,
you
I can move.
barely
I can move this chair around now. I'm staring daggers at Lexie again. I just backwards, forwards, forwards.
I disable it. And then read
Right.
listen a couple of minutes later. But yeah, I'll just slide back. You get some rest, and you might want to go quickly speak to the people through there, because I do not think they particularly like me at the moment.
Yeah. I'll go and have a look. I suppose.
I'll go with you. Let's see.
Yeah, take Rick. Sorry,
Yeah.
take Sandra
how
as bodyguard.
Dangerous are they?
We've taken all the weapons off them, but they were able to manage 3 people on their own. So I would
That's
say
not
they're
bad.
they're
After
bunged
a
up.
crash.
But yeah, if you have any
Yeah,
issues,
okay.
shout me on over. I'm pretty good at the moment, and
Right. Well,
they can hit me all day long and I won't feel it. Like, come on.
I'm not gonna take my pistol in
show
there
off.
because I don't want to put them off, but
Have it holstered, I would say,
Maybe.
just in case.
concealed.
Yeah, concealed, just in case.
Right. First, I'm gonna head back to the captain's cabin to get properly dressed up again.
Sure. So are you trying to hide conceal your thing?
I don't know how much can I put that in my jacket?
You can certainly try
Because
to hide
it's
it.
it's a D5 and I have holsters.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Oh boy, that's gonna be.
I'll just
good.
throw my weapons around
That's
the
called
corner.
a negative.
out
What
of
the
the
hell is
melee.
this?
Wait,
I
let's see
know.
what my stealth is. Do I want to know? -3 for my stealth. Oh yes.
Nice.
Just a moment.
+5, yeah.
Jesus. Are you meant to be like a rogue type thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is.
Oh god, that wasn't bad sneezing.
Anti-critical, with a +1. So 12. Yeah, you managed to get it. Basically in your jacket pocket. It's a little bit obvious. You'd find it if you looked for it, but it's not immediately
Is
obvious.
that a gun in your pocket or just happy to see me?
Not quite. It's more like, is that a gun in your pocket, or are you religious and have a Bible in your breast pocket, kind of thing. But it's there. It's there. You can see it if you look for it. You wouldn't get
It's
through security with it,
probably-
but it's not obvious, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
It's
enough.
probably
I'll just
fine
throw my
anyway,
weapons out,
because
outside the map bay.
They'll probably understand that we're taking precautions here.
So you just put them like against, just
Against the wall.
against the wall around the corner. Sure. So are just the 2 of you going in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While I maneuver the ship and just ready for,
What are you doing about the beacons?
I'll collect the beacons as well.
Okay, so you go ahead and roll me a dexterity plus starships to collect the beacons while they're talking.
Ooh.
25, 27.
27. Yeah, absolutely. You
Damn.
do manage to collect both beacons
Like,
during the
they
conversation.
don't
with
even
that happen.
notice it's happened. Like, it's
Yeah.
that smooth.
You very smoothly collect beacons. So, the 2 of you enter into the med bay. You find the Dularic woman is still asleep and unconscious, but the Terran is sort of looking around, trying to get out of her bindings. She's sort of rubbing the rope against the edge, sort of hard edge of one of the medical tables, trying to cut through it. Because her wrists are bound with a rope.
I just look confused and be like, "You
I-
tied her up?"
I'll quickly
I
message
didn't.
her at that point, remembering, oh
I-
yeah, I tied her up because I didn't like She was a bit hostile when we met her, just as a security measure. Sorry, forgot to say that.
Yeah, Lexie was a bit mistrusting of her for some reason.
Uh,
I'll just walk over
excuse
an
me.
entire.
Nah,
Whatever. She's a 1 HP, what can she do?
I kind of push you back as you go for, while holding that arm out. Excuse me, miss.
Yeah?
Shall I take those off?
Who the hell are you?
I'm the captain of this ship.
What do you want?
I'd very much like to know what happened to you and your ship. Aren't you with the Distant Nights expedition?
Yeah, we were. Not anymore.
No, exactly. Shall I make this conversation more comfortable and have those taken off for you?
She sort of holds out her hands towards you.
I'll just motion for Charlissandra to do it.
I'll continue forwards and undo her binds.
Sure, you take the bind off and she sort of rubs at her wrists a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for those ropes. It was Lexie's idea.
Oh,
Very much blaming Lexie.
Oh,
who the hell are you?
Hi, I'm Charlissandra. Just basically like a merc on this ship.
Nice
I'm
to meet you.
Johannes Vandenberg, by the way. You can call me Johnny.
Lady Kareen. She sort of holds out her hand in your direction.
I'll shake it.
You say you're with the Distant Nights. ACS?
Only in his
Yeah.
direction.
Excuse me?
Yeah, in his direction. She's ignoring you. You say you're with the Distant Nights. ACS?
I look a little bit
Level
annoyed by
4?
that.
She sort of motions with the basically holds out her palm, her hand, palm up, right hand, palm up, and let me see, and then reaches back and pulls out a very small data slate-like device, kind of like a data slate, but like a pocket version. It's like real small, kind of thing that's
Yeah.
just really expensive simply because of its size.
Yeah, I'll produce my data slate with all the documentation. I'm not handing it over
Would
to
it be on
her.
the data slate? That kind of
Well,
documentation is in. It would be on your
shit,
ID chip,
is it
which all of you have. Everyone has them. Basically, the entire alliance would have. You have an identification chip. It would be embedded in, actually, in your spine at the base of your neck, and then there's
Oh,
once
joy!
running through your own nervous system. There's a little like that has no transmission ability. It can't receive or send. You also are basically unable to spoof them because they are. They're based on a quantum alignment of different atoms in a tiny little crystal that's in there, so they don't hold much information. You would, on the other hand, have a little thing that's embedded in your right palm, which is a tiny little microtransmitter that will receive and transmit something that it's basically touching. It's about 10 centimeters above your palm. And you use it like for everyday payments, so you can access your sort of bank account and that kind of stuff from there. It'll give your real name, it'll give any licenses, that kind of stuff.
I produce my ACS license.
Yeah, so basically she just puts her data slate above it. It just basically just taps it into your palm and then looks at it, and it does say on there.
Yeah.
She nods, and then taps it to hers and shows you as well. And you see, hers lists hers with an official title, Lady F. Kareen.
Lady F. Kareen. Hold on, that's going in my notes.
Yeah, she appears to be from the 4th faction. It lists her as 62 years old, which, for the Earth equivalent, is about 25 years. That's how that would look. She is a half Dulak. From what you can tell, her mother was Dulak, so she has the sort of the blue blood, which gives her kind of a weird look on the face. Sort of blue lips and blue sort of on the inside of the eyes and that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
slightly strange. Well, it's nice to meet a friendly face.
Right, I heard you were giving my crew some trouble, though. Is that gonna happen again?
Your crew appeared out of nowhere, heavily armed, wearing armor and wielding weapons at me.
We weren't
Armor?
drawing any weapons. We just came out of a fight where he was downed and not over to old Johan there, Johnny.
She's looking
Johnny.
directly at Johnny. She is ignoring you, Charlissandra.
I'm looking more and more annoyed by this.
You're not dealing it how I would deal it, just. But anyway.
I mean, she'd have a sudden outburst somewhere because communication is next to none.
Either way, would you like a drink? Something to eat?
Please, I could do with something to get me back on my feet.
Right.
Where are we? Where's the distant nights? What
We are-
happened?
We are currently in orbit over the planet where you crashed, I presume. The distant nights is a few sectors out. We will be going back there as soon as everything here is set up.
Not sectors.
Yeah, a few light
Same
years
sector.
out. Right. A few light years out. We'll be going back there as soon as we've wrapped everything up here, collecting some beacons.
I'm good.
Charlissandra, could you get us some water and some food, please? Because I'm actually starving myself.
Sure, Captain.
Thanks.
She sort of like kind of attempts to stand up. It's quite obvious that she's not doing too well, but she manages to stand up and she looks around. What happened to my spear?
I was unconscious before my crew found you, so I'm not the person to ask. Hang on, I'll just produce my data slate and pop a quick message to Lexie. Like, yo, she's asking about her spear.
I just respond like, I didn't know who she was. She's not having a spear. She was unknown and I didn't want to get stabbed while I slept. Just, it's in my room, but just, I don't particularly want her to have it because I don't particularly know her.
I'll just tell her. Well, the ship, the spear's on the ship. But, well, Charlissandra's getting drinks and Lexie is currently piloting, so we'll get around to that later, I suppose.
She nods. Fair enough.
Now, would you rather wait for drinks to arrive, or are you happy to tell me what happened?
I'd tell you if I knew. But I
Right.
don't, evidently. I awoke to a somewhat
Well-
destroyed ship in a somewhat random planet.
Well, what happened before that?
As I say, I no idea.
Well,
Cruising through warp speed is normal, and she sort of motions over at the Delac, and unfortunately we didn't find anything, you know? She was fine.
and suddenly you were in a planet?
Well, yeah, I'm aware that something happened, but I don't know what. We just dropped out of warp inside the atmosphere, from what I can tell. And then the next thing I know, I woke up. The ship's crashed pretty hard. Both of us are pretty beat up, and we're trying to get out. Black box is missing, and
Black box missing?
yeah,
I heard you had some trouble with other people who were already down on the planet itself? What's up with that?
they assaulted the camp. As I'm sure you found us, we found some kind of, I don't know, a road? Strange, Purify maybe. but-
Yeah, saw that as well.
Well, we followed it as far as we could, and Kay over there needed to rest, so we, set up a bit of a camp, and they assaulted us. Got me pretty bad, but I got them back as much as I could.
Yeah, congratulations on that one. So, And do you have any idea whatsoever where those people are from?
Never seen them before. They didn't speak any language, I've heard. I have no idea.
And
They
what,
attacked me, we
what
killed them.
race were they?
The 2 frames and a Delac, I think.
Oh. So nothing local. Let's say.
No, the people.
Nothing alien.
Well,
Strange. Well, is that something worth investigating? But first things first. Your ship is not the only one that went missing.
what?
The Distant Knights and
Yeah.
the ship here, the Adventure, were the only 2 ships to pop up at the rendezvous location.
What? Wait. Oh no.
There are
Well,
more
that is-
beacons. We've got 2 more signals. Just we got the signal, not the transmission. Not too far from here, which we will be investigating after you 2 are back on the Distant Knights.
Right. Well, that's, disconcerting.
Yeah. No one's figured out what's up with that for now. It also seems that there's quite a heavy neutron storm going on right now, so communication is very limited. If at all possible.
How suspicious.
Suspicious? Suspicious?
Charlissandra, you'd probably be arriving with, like, drinks and
Yeah.
food if you're actually doing that around this point.
I mean, he'd ask. I'd actually do it for him. For her, not.
Okay.
I'd bring drinks for her too, though.
Yeah, alright, so you arrive
Yeah.
with some water and, like, some lunch bars or something.
Yeah.
She,
Yeah.
Thanks, Charlissandra.
Thank you, crewman. She will drink down the entirety of the water in almost one gulp, just very thirstily.
Easy, you're probably still on meds.
I would hope so.
Don't want to puke that up.
I have no intention of vomiting anything. Where?
No, because she's a
Right.
lady, you know. I actually say that. I'm fed up with her.
No. Because it would be unconstructive towards my current state of health.
Oh, now you do actually reply. How nice.
She sort of looks at you, the sort of, really? Just gonna let this
I-
happen kind of look. Johnny?
I clearly have a look on my face. I'm fucking
Charlissandra.
done with this shit.
Yeah.
Charlissandra, could you do us a favor? Go ask Lexie where Lady Karin's spear is. And make sure it's alright.
I'd be happy to do that, sure thing. With a very sarcastic sound. And I'll just walk out.
Here's your
I'm shaking
crewman.
my head in disapproval.
I'll just
As
walk
soon
up
as-
to
as soon as
Lexie
she's
and
out.
Lexie that bitch wants her spear back.
But I probably have been listening to this entire thing just
Yeah,
through the
probably.
audio. I just go, yeah, she's a fucking bitch, isn't she? She's not nice. Like, oh,
Yeah.
she's right.
We're probably below her status to talk to.
Probably. Tom, in the space of about 5 minutes, can I make the shittiest bit of shittiest spear out of a bit of spare wood or something, and just give that just
Holographic spear.
just and then what? As
Fucking
Cassandra
hard light spear.
text, like it's not even sharp sort of shit. Like something that you tap someone and
piece
it
of
would heal
stone.
them. Like
Just a piece of stone
Oh my
strapped
God.
to a stick.
like one of those ones of you just sort of like prod someone and they go, "Oh, thank you. That really did help me there. Just got rid of that itch there. Thank you." Just sort of really shit.
You could get something 3D printed. That would take 5-10 minutes. You could also machine like just a bar of metal into a point if you wanted to.
No.
Which
She's
would be
not getting
quicker.
metal. Fuck that.
Metal's
She's
probably
getting
the
the
best you've
shittiest
got.
material I've got.
Metal's probably the what you've got the most of, to be fair.
Get some
Um,
soft steel then.
You wouldn't have anything in the way of wood.
Damn.
Um,
Fine then. I'll give her a table leg.
I'd guess the other one with. I'd guess the only one with wood there is Johnny.
so you just
Um,
cut a table leg off
What?
at an angle
Yeah.
so that
I'm-
it's sharp-ish.
No,
and then sand the end.
It's not sharp. It is not sharp. I make it so I can quickly reattach it later when it gets handed back to me.
So you just unscrew the table leg and just hand it to her.
Pretty
basically.
much.
All right. So you
And,
just-
I'll text Johnny saying she's not getting her speed back until she stops being a bitch. Just as Charlissandra walks in.
okay.
Well, I got this table leg.
No.
Well,
You need to walk in and say it's her spear, okay?
I mean,
it'll
I'd
take a few
have a
moments,
very
but-
dramatic way of giving it to her, but that wouldn't actually work with a table leg.
It's her spear.
That's not the point. The
It'll
point
take a
is
few
that
moments for you to do
you're
that.
bullshitting
The moment that that Charlissandra walks out, she sort of turns to you, Johnny, and your crew certainly have an attitude problem.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. Like, I would just text Johnny, just, it's not a problem. It's a feature.
Software
That's one way
developer.
of... I'm just... As I see that pop out, I just sigh. That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Right then, I quite enjoyed that. Are we close to me being able to sort of plot a route to thingy? Back to the distant nights?
Not quite.
Not
I'll
quite,
just
alright.
enter the table leg, make a very deep, overly dramatic bow, walk backwards. Here you are, it's my honor.
Yes!
I just look at Charlissandra and now Johnny's patience is gone as well.
I just give him a smug look and walk out.
Out now.
She will
I'd
take
be
the
honored,
table
my
leg
captain.
from you.
I make an overly dramatic bow to Johnny and walk out.
As you offer her the table leg, she will take it. And she just sort of
yeah.
holds the table leg and she looks at you,
I
Johnny,
take a
looks at the
photo of
table
it,
leg.
Just, I would take a
And
photo
I
of her
walk
just
out.
looking awkwardly like, what
Oh,
should
no.
I do with this look?
It's not an awkward look. It's a look of how badly am I going to regret doing this?
I just have a look on my face very badly. On that,
Not looking at you, looks at Johnny and
Ah.
twirls the table leg around as if she's been wielding this thing for years, like kind of how you twirl a spear, and then slams it into the sort of the hard light of the hologram for the curtains. Just sort of leaves it floating midair. Just lets go of it. Your crew
Is the
have a
table
problem.
leg damaged? In fact,
While I
Tom,
walk out, I'll
Wait,
slow
No,
clap.
just go straight for it.
wait,
While I walk
can
out, I'll slow clap for that.
Wait, can I, as she goes to slam it, turn it into a soft light?
Oh my god.
Yes.
I do that.
Sure. Okay. So she sticks it through. Just lets go. And
Just
Clunk.
her expect that I'm surely she'll get off balance thinking that it's going to be a hard light and just not.
you expect her to?
Yeah.
She
If
doesn't.
if you expect. Oh
If you
god.
expect it to hit something hard and you hit something soft, or is not there, you do sort of.
She was expecting a hard light. She was expecting next to no resistance anyway, just enough to support it. She's
Is
very
it?
off,
Alright.
off balance at all as she's stopping herself. She lets go of it. Oh god! And then
I heard.
I dropped a
It
thing.
doesn't sound like a table leg though.
Not quite. And then she
No, that's the glass vial that fell off the table.
simply just says to the room, "I'm aware that you're watching me, and I'm aware that if you do not stop this,
I put a smiley face up.
Captain, I would advise you to
ma'am,
find
excuse me, please.
proper crew."
I just
Walks
take
out.
my combat.
I've already, like... Yep.
Yeah,
As
she
she
walks,
walks out-
over to the Dulark and starts looking at her. She undoes the Dulark's bindings. Oh no, the Dulark
She
wasn't bound.
doesn't have bindings.
The
Yeah,
Dul-
she-
no, the
she-
Duloc is broken.
Yeah, she
Quite
looks over
literally.
her and starts sort of messing with the Dulark.
I just take out
Oh,
my
she
combat.
does.
With what you can see as a pretty... she seems to know what she's doing. Looking at medical equipment and stuff. Yeah,
I-
take out your combat.
I would just put it on PA. Alright, you bastards. You've overstepped your liberties quite enough.
You know, why not?
Because there's
I'll
gonna
just-
be repercussions if you're not careful.
I'll just be with Lexie in the in the cockpit.
Like, she deserved it. Fuck it. She's being a bit of a bitch.
I'll
anyway.
just turn to Miss Kareen. If you need anything,
It's
let
lady.
me know.
She stands
I'm
up.
sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Lady Kareen. If you need anything, let me know.
Very well, let us be on
And
the
I'll
way.
head on out. Excuse me?
We're leaving, are we not? She sort of she walks over to you, as if to follow.
Oh, sure. If you want to meet my abhorrent crew, be my guest.
It would be my honor.
Okay then. Off to my crew then. Off to the
So
cockpit.
you-
Yeah,
you
let's
two
go
in
to the
in the bridge.
cockpit first.
It's a bridge.
The bridge.
How close
Oh, yeah,
would
bridge,
you
yeah.
actually be
I couldn't find the right
to-
words for it, so
Yes.
You're
Phone?
a
Yeah, thingy.
pilot. You know that it's a bridge on a ship. So, as you make your way over, Lexie, you're approaching the point at which you could maybe start plotting a route and heading out.
I'll stop plotting a route
you
and shove in, like, just announce that we're about to boost and just secure everything.
So, you make sure everything's tied down. You deploy the warp rings.
Oh,
you
I'm getting
start-
in my seat.
Mhm. Yeah, you'll find a seat.
Captain's seat, please.
I'm the one flying at the moment, fuck off.
There. This is a
Like-
bridge. If you can only command this thing from one vessel.
I know that,
Then
but
the
I'm
bridge is doing
literally
it
in the
wrong.
middle of doing a warp. Like, you don't really kick someone out while they're doing something.
You could,
I mean, his point is you probably have your own seat
but
where you could fly.
It's bad practice.
there would be a
Yeah, I'm not gonna
captain's
interrupt
seat,
you.
and there would be like piloting, probably a pilot
Yeah,
console,
like,
which would be secondary.
like,
So I mean, take
Yeah.
your pick. Are you in the captain's chair or are you in the pilot console? Both can
I'll
pilot
be
the
in the
ship, but one of them will be
I'll
able to override
probably
the
be
other.
in the pilots because it's more set up to pilot. Like,
Yeah,
That's what it's
like,
called.
I'll
Pilot.
probably-
It's also more
'cause-
yours.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's my sort of place and it's where I've set up every sort of screen and all that to know exactly what it is. And it's
Sure.
also where I've changed the seat settings to exactly what I need to the millimeter sort of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably be in there anyway.
Kareen just finds the nearest seat, really, and just sits down. It's kind of unoccupied one, as I assume Charlissandra has a seat on the bridge that you stay on.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure I'll fashion something, just a bit of duct tape, a couple of bolts. Sure, it's fine.
So-
Like a metal pole fixed to the table in a mess hall or something too, and that's
Oh my god.
So as you,
My-
The amount of furniture we're
Doctor.
going through this episode is unbelievable.
it really is. So you fasten yourself down. You prepare. You fasten yourselves into your seats. I assume you prepare for warp. You
Yeah.
deploy the warp rings. You start building up, sending power to the drives for the initial burst, and start plotting a route and everything. And then, after a few moments of this, you see something appears on the scanners. You see a brief heat signature streaking towards you at kind of an incredible speed.
I stop everything and scan what that is, just in case.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Before you stop everything, Lexie, at what speed is it approaching?
Yeah,
Are we gonna
what's-
get out of here before it gets to us?
No.
I do not want to take the risk in case this is what's causing the issues.
This thing
And
appears to be
boosts
coming
that planet.
from a different planet. One of the ones further out in the system, one of the gas giants. It's coming from that direction. It is coming in what is almost a straight line in an orbit, so that's FTL by the look of it. It is coming at FTL speeds. It is incredibly fast, and
Can I scan it to find out what it is quickly?
I'm going to. Yeah.
that would be a, I guess, that's perception plus starships.
In the
So-
meantime, I will take control and start flying away at a 45-degree angle from its current interception course.
20.
20. Okay, you don't get any readings that make sense. It appears to be a craft of some kind. It does not appear to be a craft of some kind. It appears to be some kind of like natural object that's not a natural object, and it appears to have no form of propulsion.
Johnny,
But it does have a
continue
form of
preparing.
propulsion
I'm
on the
about
other
to try
hand.
and kill this. I do not like this. This is strange.
Very
I
well.
can't- I'll try and
Yeah.
heal it. Try and open
I'm-
all channels. Go. What? Hello.
Yeah.
Who are you?
As you
Meanwhile, full
start attempting
thrust
to-
here on the sublights because I want to get out of this location.
As you do that, the thing arrives. It is moving at that kind of speed. It is. It's kind of silent. You see it, this sort of brief flash of light, and then next to you there is this object. It appears to be organic from what you can see. At the front, you see what appears to be a bone-like structure, some kind of singular point, like a tooth or a claw, or maybe more of a horn at the front, from which there appears to be these three large, what almost appear like bone structures, are coming back into this, forming a pyramid, triangular-based pyramid, really. Between them is what appears to be some kind of hide or skin-like material. It's dark orange in appearance. It looks rough, and through it you can see these really dark blue veins spidering across its surface. The rear side of the object, which you can see as it swings towards you, this sort of single point on the front, always faces towards you, and it spins into formation, joining you. You see no form of propulsion, no engines on it. The rear side of this creature, the skin-like hide, kind of folds down. The three bone-like structures that you can see effectively under the skin come into long, extended points out behind the craft in these long, similar like claws or horn-type structures. At the back, there's a single kind of organic hole, as if some kind of muscle is holding something closed. You see a number more veins all leading into it, and then sort of going inside this object.
I'm pressing my
swings in-
macro.
It swings into
It's
formation.
Charlissandra, man the gun.
You start attempting to hail it, and as you do, you see across the surface of it these blue spider and cobweb of veins begins to dully glow with this sort of deep blue energy that quickly begins to build up, changing from a very dark purplish blue to a more light blue, a turquoisey.
By the way, Tom.
Yeah?
The moment I saw it, I would have pressed my macro that just spams print screen sort of thing, just taking all the photos.
Yeah.
You're just effectively recording the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
I
Um,
want all the data we're getting from this computer saved in
at which
tenfold.
point I would
As it-
probably shout to Johnny, prepare the fucking light speed booster thingy to get us the fuck out
Oh
of
yeah,
here.
we're flying the
I'll
fuck
take it.
away, all power to the engines and the rear shields, preparing the
You're
the
accelerating
jump
at full
we're
speed, and
going.
it is keeping perfectly next to you, as if you're not moving at all.
And I'll try and take evasive actions if it does anything that I don't like.
The veins across it are beginning to build up with this glow, and after maybe 3 seconds,
I'm turning
everything
away.
turns dead.
What in a shit.
All of your screens go off, the gravity goes off, the air goes off, everything. Your entire ship immediately shuts down.
Fuck.
I immediately flip upside down and go, fuck.
You're in your chair. Strapped
I know
in for
that,
warp,
but
yeah?
Eh,
strapped in?
strapped in, not strapped
Okay,
in.
so you're not
What's
strapped
the
in.
difference?
So, as
I probably
The
come back
difference
on
is the strap.
Like,
as you
I
go
would've
to
just-
sort of flip upside down and go fuck, you realise you can't even see your crewmates. You can't see anything. It's completely black. There's a brief moment of confusion, and then suddenly your ship is tumbling. Something is pushing it. It's spinning about all of its axes at the same time. Lexie, you are
For the
slammed into one
love
wall.
of the
The other
fucking
three are
stars.
strapped into their chairs. You are slammed into
Yeah.
one wall. As you attempt to stand up, you feel to your nose there's almost a little droplet of blood
I
as
would
you are
try and
smacked.
stand up. I would stay against that and sort of get into sort of holding on, ready to take this bullshit.
Okay. As you attempt to sort of find something to lock yourself down, to hold on to sort of anchor yourself to, you feel this sort of droplet of blood from your nose as you realise that you've just basically been hit hard enough to actually kind of do a little bit of damage. You feel around, it's maybe a wall, you can kind of feel a console above you, you're not quite sure what's going on, and then all of you
I'm
begin to
putting
hear
the
the sound
flashlight
of
on my gun
tearing
on.
metal.
I think I have that.
Yeah, you pull out your gun, you click the flashlight, nothing happens.
d-
And you hear this of tearing metal.
Oh, I don't like
then
that.
do I hear? Can I sort of hear anything? Can I hear other people?
You can hear the other people and the confusion. You can hear the sound of tearing metal. The entire ship suddenly vibrates as the sound of something snapping. Metal snapping.
Right.
And then after a brief moment, your ship is suddenly tumbling the other way. You're thrown across the room, unable to really hold on to anything, slamming into the opposite wall, this time curling yourself up sort of into a ball and preparing for it. You manage to not bash your head on it.
Can I try and grab my seat on the way past to try and get in it, or just
Make
realizing that I should do
alright.
was
Make a dexterity at disadvantage because you... dexterity save at disadvantage because you can't see it.
Oh, so
Dex
that's...
save to try and grab it as you're suddenly flung, and save disadvantage because you are effectively blind.
Is a dex save means that again? What does
No-
that mean exactly?
No positive bonus. But
Okay, so 14.
21 anyway.
21 or...
The first one's got a +5 though, so it's actually 16 or 21.
Okay, so 16. You manage to grab onto your seat. And you fumble a bit, trying to ride out against, as your ship suddenly, again, you feel it begin to stop tumbling slightly, and you hear that same sound of tearing metal. Sort of sound. As you
Does
manage to pull
anyone
yourself
here
into
have
a
a
seat
flare?
and click the strap down.
Yeah, I'll also shout to everyone, put on the masks in case we lose oxygen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You
just-
go for you go and you grab your sort of EVA gear. Your
Yeah.
EVA gear is the tech kind. It's the kind where it forms a bubble around you. It's the emergency stuff, and as you
Yeah.
click it,
Like Remlock from.
kind of like Remlock, except it's the spacesuits in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's more like that, except it's just a bubble of hard light around you that contains the air around you. But as you click it,
other thing is,
It's
No.
shit.
nothing happens.
okay, we've got no power, do we?
Nothing
We've
has
got
power.
no. Have we effectively been hit by an EMP? Guys, what the heck is going on here?
Most systems are hardened against EMPs these days. You don't know of anything that could do this. Which is why nothing is prepared for this. This is not
we're
a thing
getting
that is
attacked by
normally capable. You hear that same sound of clink of metal breaking. And then
Does
brief
anyone have a
moment.
flare?
you hear the sound of
do I?
wind. Do you?
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
don't
any.
have-
I don't. I sure as fuck don't have a flare.
Nah.
I don't do.
Not on the bridge.
Right.
You might have a flare like in the airlock or that kind of stuff, or the border ramp. Not here. You hear the sound
just quick?
of rushing wind. But it's
I
not
would
coming
have
from
my-
inside your ship. It's the sound of wind that is buffeting against the outside of a ship.
Okay.
What the
Can I
shit?
just quickly? I would imagine I have my sight on me, considering
It'd
I'm
be
still
next to you.
sort of in attack mode.
Ye-
Sorry?
It would be sort of, yeah, it'd be next to you, I guess.
Yeah. Can I quickly try the switch on it to turn my RGB lights on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you grab it, you click the switch, nothing happens.
Oh, now
Is there
I'm fucking
anything to be
pissed.
seen outside as this is all going on?
We don't
Yeah.
have windows.
Your
Oh
windows are
wait,
view
we don't
screens.
have windows because the fucking hell, man.
Because standard issue, your windows are view screens so that you don't have to deal with radiation.
Oh, I want windows. Is there
You're
any
using a
light?
yeah,
wallpaper
we're
or
getting.
something?
Oh,
No,
we're
it's
getting
pitch
windows
black, you
after
can't
this
see.
shit.
Is there
That's
any
a really
window?
bad idea.
I
no,
don't give a fuck.
there aren't windows because if you have windows, it'll kill everyone on your ship.
Fair
you
enough.
use warp drive. It basically you get infinitely high levels of radiation because you
Okay,
blue
we'll
shift
get
all of the
shelters for the
radiation from all the
windows.
stars. So it goes infinitely high radiation, and then you just
Fair
fry
enough.
everyone on the ship. Yeah. As you hear the
What's
sound
that?
of sort of the wind buffeting against the side of your ship, and then it's gone. Just sort of it passes. You hear it, it dies down very very quickly. And
I'll
there's
go
nothing.
to the airlock.
And
Blind.
You unclip yourself. Your ship begins to slowly stop spinning,
Yeah,
and the lights
I
begin
mean
to
it
flicker
once it-
back on. The ship begins to right itself, the own thrusters, and then suddenly you feel yourself being pushed back into your seat just as you're attempting to get out of it. As
Yeah,
your
I
drives
follow
kick
and
back
sit
up
back.
straight up to full power, because they were at full
Yeah.
power before. And you
Mother-
quickly get a hold on hold of everything as the
Yeah.
windows flicker
Yeah.
back. Effectively, the windows flicker back into life. There's space outside.
I want 360 camera vision right now, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull that up.
You pull
Lady
it up.
Corinne, are you okay?
I'm fine. What happened? What was
I,
that?
I think we better check up on your crewmates in the med bay.
Yes, immediately. And she unclips the stuff. As you do that, Gav, you pull up. Johnny, sorry. You basically pull up the entire room around you, effectively shrinks to a sphere, as effectively all around you projected as holographic view of the entire. It's a holographic screen showing everything.
Yeah.
You see the planet below you. You see the chairs that you're stood on. You see the stars. You don't see
Okay.
that vessel from before.
I look at the recording I was making.
The recording you were making
Or
does exist. It
Yeah.
just cuts off.
when it cuts
does
off.
exist. Yeah, it cuts
It
off
does
a
exist.
little bit earlier than the power actually went out.
I'm
But
guessing
very
because of-
fractional. It's
I'm guessing that was because the RAM got errored or something like that.
Basically, it's taking the images and it's saving it directly to disk because they don't
Yeah.
have the difference between disk, cache, and these computer systems are so fast they don't have hard drive, RAM, and cache. It's
So
all
all-
just one thing, so it just saves it straight into storage.
So it's like Optane, right? Okay.
Yeah, it saves it straight into storage, but it's kind of the little bit that was still in effectively working memory. It kind of has RAM. It's not quite the same, but the bit that was still
Does
being
it-
written into storage,
All right.
it
I-
kind of cuts off as it was being written into storage. So a bit of it's corrupted right at the end, but most of it still works.
Yeah,
Right to the
'cause,
very end still works.
Intel sort of got a non-volatile RAM, sort of. I
Yeah,
know Optane not quite that, but it sort of is, sort of isn't.
kind of. This is just a lot more impressive than that because it's space
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah.
Aye.
It's kind of almost there's the last few frames effectively are corrupted, but other than that,
Yeah, that's
you good. So right at the end of the video, it just saw errors, but
right. I'm going to say go check on the other one. I'm going to set this up so we can get out of here as soon as possible.
We were already away.
Oh, I'm already setting us up to get out of here.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
soon as we can jump,
so
we
the
shall jump. After one,
Charlissandra
of course.
and Lady Corinne
Done.
head off towards the
Yeah.
medical bay. Corinne actually just runs.
Yeah, I'd imagine Charlissandra too.
You
Just
make
sort
your
of-
way there. The medical bay is pretty much fine. Everything in the medical bay was mostly locked down. Leo is actually strapped into a seat because Leo does not trust any of you. So he was already strapped into his seat.
I
Wow.
wonder why.
We were supposed to go in warp anyway. We were
Yeah.
supposed to be strapped in.
The Dulark is effectively strapped in. As the power went out, basically a backup in the medical tables, which is one of the very few places they do have backups kicked in. And so the Dulac is actually under some like metallic restraints that are just emergency restraints that are fired out. They're effectively held back. They're sprung loaded and they're held back on by electromagnets. So the power went out and they close over the table, just holding her in place. It's one of the very few places where they actually assume that the power could go out, because it's one of the places where if it goes out, it
People
doesn't
die.
mean that everybody's dead, but people will die.
Yeah.
You know, whereas with like your warp drive, they don't have anything for it, or like with the gravity, because you can deal with that. You can't deal with it when you've got no arms. So, the medbay is fine. You two, as you bring up and you start attempting to warp, a hologram of your ship appears in the center of the bridge, and as it pops up, it is in the regular holographic blue. It's showing your ship with the warp rings on the outside. The warp rings and the pylons they're on are listed in red, crimson red,
No.
Dead.
and the tag
Fuck.
not responding appears.
I'm doing
I
a
look
full system swoop.
And that is
out.
where we're going to take our break.
Right. Oh God.
So, catch you in the next part.